Yo, Mr. Mack-Poole. Summit meetings, try now 4. Explain the importance of those summit meetings. So your try now is to fill out the causes, events, consequences, and key figures of the summit meetings. So what I'm going to do is go through these summit meetings with you and discuss the implications. But I want this grid fully filled out for your revision purposes. This is your try now. Also, you can add some red pen information to your assessments, which have been given back to you. That would be good as well. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a little cheeky ganders. All right. Here's some information. All right. So just before we go on to this, try now 4. And in order to get 6 to 8 marks, you need to give an explanation showing the analysis of the importance. So it's not just a brain dump. Okay. It shows a line of reasoning that is coherent and logically structured. Again, you should be using your connectives. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, consequently, subsequently, as a consequence, as a result. You need to link your ideas together in these ways. It's very important to use a range of connectives for that reason. Okay. And of course, you get a knowledge mark for your AO1. Accurate and relevant information is included. So your emphasis should be on the importance of the summit meetings in these superpower relations. Remember what your course is called. It's called superpower relations. You've got a relationship between the USA and the USSR. Why are these summit meetings important? Now, before we get on to why they're important and the kind of more consequences and impact, I think we should go through causes, events, and consequences. Do you not? I think we should. And actually, let's just go through actually what happens at these summit meetings at the time of them. So this is more like the causal stuff here, the refugee problem, all right, 1949 to 1961. So there's a problem. It's that Berlin itself is 100 miles into East Germany. This causes friction between both Stalin and Truman, and then Khrushchev and Eisenhower, once they inherit the leadership, should we say, or follow on from those leaders. So Khrushchev and Eisenhower both have issues as well, and JFK should have put in their significant individuals as well. So essentially what you've got between 1949 and 1961 is brain drain. A lot of skilled workers, teachers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, they're leaving the communist bloc in East Germany and they're going to West Germany. And it was very easy. All you had to do was walk into West Berlin, and from there you could go to West Germany. Just get a nice little connecting flight. So this led to brain drain, and 1/6 of the country left East Germany to flee to West Germany. Okay, so there was a choice between the capitalist West Germany, which had a lot of investment from the Marshall Plan, as you should know, and was flourishing in its manufacturing sector. Its manufacturing was really successful. You know, German cars are still very popular today. So this led to Khrushchev basically saying that he had an ultimatum. He wanted the Western powers out of Berlin. He wanted to revoke what had been agreed at Potsdam and make Berlin a free city. So I'm just going to have a bit of water because my mouth's a bit dry. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this led to Eisenhower wanted to extend some talks. Now, Eisenhower's a curious figure. He was a general from World War II, as was Khrushchev. But whilst Khrushchev would always be a bit more aggressive, Eisenhower was not. He seemed to want to extend more peaceful overtures. So they both sent their foreign ministers to Geneva in 1959 to have talks. And whilst nothing was resolved, there was a diplomatic impasse, they both agreed to have further talks. And in fact, Eisenhower invites Khrushchev to Camp David in Washington, in America. He invites Khrushchev and his wife and his family to meet face to face, and they have a face to face meeting. It's a really odd atmosphere, actually, because as you should remember from my class, the American crowd comes out, and there are a few protests against having the communist leader there. But the American crowds come out, and they don't cheer him, they don't boo him, they just watch, and it's like eerily silent. So it's a bit of a weird atmosphere. Now, this is, I'd say, Camp David in 1959. I'd say that's the high point of relationships, okay, between Khrushchev and Eisenhower. It never gets better than that, unfortunately. The relationships never, ever get better than that. So this state visit where he visits Camp David, they never improve any better. So this is the high point. Now, there is a result. There is an impact to this. Again, no kind of concrete diplomatic resolution or solution around Berlin was made, but Khrushchev did agree to withdraw his ultimatum. Now, you're going to see why this is the high point of these summit meetings. Because, sorry, in 1960, you have the Gary Powell's spy plane U-2 incident. So his spy plane shot down. Initially, Eisenhower denied it was a spy plane, but was later forced to admit it. It was very embarrassing. And Khrushchev walks out of the Paris meetings, of the Paris summit meetings. So, in essence, it goes terribly. Now, by 1961, because of democracy in America, you're only allowed to have 2 terms as president. JFK is the new president. And Khrushchev really tries to, there's no really way of saying this, like bully him or be very attacking in this summit meeting. And Khrushchev renewed his Berlin ultimatum. He doesn't like JFK because of JFK's attempt to conquer Cuba with the Bay of Pigs. Also, because the Bay of Pigs invasion failed, Khrushchev thinks JFK is quite weak. Now, JFK is not very happy with how that summit meeting went. And so he increased his military spending by $2 billion after that meeting. And because of the hostility in that meeting, the Berlin Wall was erected in 1961. So let's go on to the importance of these meetings. Really, the importance of these summit meetings is, we'll see on this next slide. Khrushchev was shown to be somewhat unpredictable and hot-headed. He'd already shown that when he said the famous words, "We will bury you," during the 1956 Suez Crisis and Hungarian uprising. But, he's giving ultimatums, retracting them, giving ultimatums again. Doesn't seem to be that stable, does he? The refugee crisis was also a PR disaster for communism. So when it came to a choice between the communist world and the capitalist world, Germans seemed to be making their thoughts very clear with the footfall of leaving East Germany to go to West Germany. No resolution was reached. Now, I think there were honest efforts actually on both sides. The state visit of Khrushchev going to Washington for a state visit showed that there was good faith actually from both sides to try and come to some solution. But despite all the efforts, nothing could be reached. As a consequence of the failure of these summit meetings, the Berlin Wall was erected in 1961. Now, I'd say this is a long-term consequence because that wall is there from 1961 to 1989, and it really would have an appalling legacy. It was essentially a prison wall designed to keep communists in, or sorry, when I say it's communists in, is keep German citizens in the communist zone, okay, of East Germany. And JFK, as a short-term consequence, he goes to Berlin and he makes his Ich bin ein Berliner speech. Okay, so we can't deny the importance of these summit meetings. These summit meetings would kind of define the period from 1961 to 1989 with that erection of the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall really was a very significant, truly significant symbol of all that was really wrong with communism by denying people freedom of movement. So I'd say these summit meetings are extremely significant, extremely significant. Now, I believe that you should be able to add a lot more detail to your, sorry, I'll just get to the right thing. You should be you should be able to add a lot more detail to your assessments in red pen. I'd also like to fill out that grid of causes, events, consequences, and key figures. You can also access your textbook pages 41 to 45. And if you want to do a bit of research, I'm sure there'll be something on BBC Bite Size too. Okay, but you can do that as independent research as a challenge if you'd like to. Okay, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you very much.